Well, hi guys. Make sure I got everything working here. Can you hear me? Am I audio? I mean, shut there, that's off. Guess I am. Hello, Marky. Psst, hi there. Purge loud and clear. Dining. Buenas noches. Jerry Holly. Nice to see you. I started a little late because my niece came over to look at my new boat. I bought a boat. We'll get out in it soon and show you what we got. It's a little boat, not a big boat, just a little boat, about 15 foot with a little engine. So it's going to let me get around into some of these grass flats. I've been looking for flamingo hurricane. Hello, hello. We need to get some wrenches given out here. Ilion, is that right? Mikim. We already got Paul Cohen, Kevin Rosenberg. Oh, some plants are, well, it's par for the course, Paul. Not all plants do well. It's got everything to do with the how do I want to describe it? With the tank, with the culture of the soil. Diana. Hello there. And Alvin Fernandez. Hello, Alvin. Sumeru. Let's see, trying to get these wrenches caught up. A bunch of new people here. Diana, Alvin, Sumeru from India, Satish from India. Nice to see you, Satish. And Zed said I just joined the Discord today. Well, have a great time. It's a wonderful site. Arlene Evans from South Wales. Hello, Arlene. Nice to have you with us. Get all these wrenches out. Alexander Bodenko. Cannot find any mud at PetSmart or Petco. Well, that's likely true. And you're not gonna. Because they don't know what that is. Peppling Creek is here. Hello, hello. Got an order in, you guys. Getting some fish this week from Peppling Creek. He's got such beautiful stuff. Really beautiful stuff. We're getting a website together. Getting our website together. We're going to have a website. It's called fatherfish.fish. Fatherfish.fish. It'll be up shortly, and we will have dealers such as Peppling Creek, Bioaquatics, and a few others listed on our website, including our Canadian distributor or EU distributor. When we get that nailed down, and whatever else we have cooking. Order goes out tomorrow. Pebbling Creek said, looking forward to it. Those fish are going to go in this tank right here. It's I've got it. Oh, everything is spawning in there right now. The golden top minnows are spawning, and the apistogrammas are spawning. Well, look at these guys. This is the male. I don't know if you can see. I'll get close to it a little later and show you. They're really going at it. Josh Rosenthal, first time catching the live stream. Nice to have you here, Josh. We'll give you a wrench. What happened? That is moderator. There it is. Flamingo Hurricane. From Miami, living in Texas. Well, if you're near the water, it's not too bad. Hello, Jenny. Nice to see you. The Phoenix cluster. Yeah, we'll get some close-ups of the tank. In fact, we'll do close-ups of all the tanks today. They're all looking a lot better. Like I finally got some plants in them. That is the 33 long, Kevin. Yes. Shelly Evans, need to order some live plants. A fancy goldfish in a black moor. Well, we got you. We got you covered. Let me get your wrench here. Everybody gets to be a moderator. Now, I should say we do have a secret senior moderator who has the ability to kick anybody who they consider to be obtrusive and obnoxious. Alexander, try Montmorillanite clay. Fish pond keepers swear by it and have been using it for years. Tried it in my aquarium and it stabilized them. I just got some clay, as a matter of fact, and I think it's Montmorillanite. What I'm going to do, it's a powder form, so I'm using it and mixing it in with the soil. I should mention something, and I need to include it in my description of the supplement. I put mycorrhizae in it, which is a fungus. It's a fungus culture, so it cultures in the bag, and when you open the bag, there's fungus growing in there. By design, that's done deliberately in order to be able to introduce a strong fungus culture in the tank. Fungus is as critical as bacteria for balancing and stabilizing a tank. So I had one fellow said, "It took it out and it grew back and I took it out again. What do I do?" And I said, "Put it back in and leave it alone. It's fine." Greetings from Hungary, Pete Basing. Taught me a lot about raising a natural aquarium. Nice to have you with us, Pete. Euro guppy, yes, it's a powder, right. What plants are good for goldfish? Sturdier plants. Things like Anubias, Java fern, plants that are a stronger, sturdier leaf. They're not gonna just tear apart. The Phoenix changed its name. Zed Leaf. Tomorrow when I get back to work at the wastewater treatment plant, I'm gonna take a picture of my RJ that I seeded from a sludge digesting tank. Yeah, I've been talking to Zed he just joined Discord. And he's doing some really interesting culture, and I'm trying to get him to. He's got some jars, resurrection jars. Trying to get him to create some cultures so that we can have really good culture available. So we'll see if we can get that going. Silver Creek, Heidi ho! Silver Creek is an absolute rock star with his short videos. The guy is amazing. He does such brilliant stuff. Just really, really impressed. Alex Prager from Australia. Hello, Alex. We need a rep in Australia. We need somebody who is willing to put together the supplement and whatever else they can sell, and we'll promote you and get you started. Suman Singh, learned a lot from you and also created a dirted aquarium from knowledge again by watching videos. My tank water is a bit yellow Any way of clearing it out? Well, add more sand, put more plants in it, slow down on feeding. You can use biochar or carbon, and that will absorb a lot of the yellow. It's yellow because the dirt is bleeding up through the sand. So another half inch to an inch of sand is called for. David and Notting is here. Hello, David. I have leaves in my tank 5 months that have not started to break down. No, it's not normal. I don't know. What are they? What kind of leaves are they? I'll tell you, some of the leaves that are sold in the trade are simply too dense to be able to be broken down. You want leaves that break down fast, moderate, and then some long term. Long term, a good example is oak. Soft, quick one, or ash. A mid grade would be a maple. So ash, maple, oak. If you can get those three, then you'll have a pretty good mix. Peak basing. Collected alder cones, the leaves from a local creek. Perfect. Brought some gamaris in with them. Okay to have them live with my Galaxy Red Boris. I don't see why not. I think they'll do just fine. Ooh. Let me take a look at something here on Google. Ooh. I broke my table that holds my, what am I doing? That holds my, that's where I can't talk and chew gum. I used to be able to. Can't do it anymore. All right, let's do this. The gamaris are likely to be eaten. The babies will, if you have them in with small fish, so the adults will survive. And if you got a lot of leaf that are in there, the babies will too. What can mosquito fish eat? Depends on what you're talking about. There are two fish that go by the moniker mosquito fish. One is the gambusia. I call them dambusia because they're the nastiest fish you can put in a tank. I've seen them kill, they're little tiny things, less than an inch long. I've seen them kill fish a foot long. They're nasty buggers. The other one is just the opposite. The other one is the Formosa. It's a live bear. They're both live bears. And it's a delightful little fish. I've got a bunch of them in here, and the males are a quarter of an inch long, full grown. Very gentle, peaceful little fish. What do they eat? Well, they'll eat microfauna. So you want to get a food web built for them. Pete Bazang, greetings from Hungary. We did that. We already looked at that. Really? Let's see. We did Alex. So should I put a piece of fungus-covered bark in my tank? Yeah, if it's from the water, there are fungi, land fungi that won't live in the water. Water fungi won't live on land. So you need to find the right one. Somebody had a fungus that was growing mushrooms, which blew my mind because there's only one species that does that, and it's in the upper Colorado River. A little hard to come by, but somehow they got one, so that's pretty exciting. I want to get them. Shelley Evans, changed my heck to sand. Made a video about gravel and crowded water, cleared up right away, changed the sand. You betcha. Well, they'll eat any little stuff, anything tiny enough. And you can, well, Daphnia is a good example. you can culture that out. My latest video explains a little bit about how to culture species of macrofauna. Micro, too, for that matter, but macro are a little easier. What platform is the Discord on? It's on the Fatherfish Shoal. Let me see. I will post the link here. I can come up with it. Here we go. The Fatherfish Shoal. And let me get the link. We'll do a permanent link. There's the link for Discord. David Anani. That's funny about your leaves. Happy to be a representative. Alex, you're... Where are you? Where are you, Alex? Benenko Prager. Alex Prager. Simon Sang from Australia. See if you can get over on Discord, Alex, and let's chat over there. We can get you set up. The new website will have all of the suppliers from all over the globe listed. So people looking for a supplier in EU or Canada or India or Australia will be able to buy locally. So we're getting it going. Mr. Eddie Sauce. 2 to 3 inch sand is substrate. Well, yeah, well, to make it 3. 2 is not deep enough. Make it 3, and it'll take about 6 months for it to culture well enough to really support plant life. But you're okay. Just take your time with it. If you start building a food web, that'll move it along a lot more quickly. So you might consider that as well. Let's see. What else we have? Kristen Vergas. What is a food web? That, my dear, is going to be the topic for the very next video that'll be coming out on Friday. What is a food web and how does it feed my fish? On the order of what is a resurrection jar and how does it feed my tank? Hello, Utah. Nice to see you. Food web is culture, living culture that you collect from the wild and inoculate your tank with and seed your tank. You do both. You inoculate with bacteria, fungus, and whatever that other stuff is called, and you culture with micro and macrofauna, which allows your tank then to be able to support babies, to provide a media for the fish to lay their eggs in. These guys are just all over each other. The golden top minnow, the fundulus, is spawning. I've got at least 2 pair, maybe more. And the males are just all over the females. They're so shy. They see my hand, they dart away. If I go near them with the camera, they dart. Hello, well, you're not darting away. That's a female. She's not nearly as... Is it a female? It looks like a juvenile male, I think. No, it's a female. The female has sparkles, and the male has a lot of color. Let's see. Bluetooth connected, battery full. Uh, White oak from my backyard, Davenatti. That's interesting. It may simply be that you don't have adequate culture. You probably need to bring some live culture in. You probably don't have enough chompers to be able to start breaking it down. It doesn't work to just put leaves in. You've got to get the culture too. And that culture is, you're bringing in thousands of different life forms when you bring in a wild culture, like from the resurrection jar. Thousands of life forms, bacteria, fungus, microfauna, macrofauna, just all, and hundreds of species of all of those. In some cases, thousands of species. All of that's coming into the tank and it's creating a balance. It's what prevents it from becoming um, uh, from disease occurring, because all of these critters are struggling with each other and balancing each other, being prey on each other. So it controls that. That's why you never see, or rarely ever see, a disease in nature. Diseases occur typically in discrete populations, generally in populations that are prevented from living in a genuinely wild environment, a rich, culturally rich environment. That's why fish tanks get disease, because they don't have nearly enough a live culture in them to be able to control and maintain a balance with pathogens. And so the pathogens will get in there. There's nothing to control them, and they just go crazy and kill everything. The worst thing you can have is a clean tank, because it guarantees the minute a pathogen gets in there, it's going to go crazy and you're going to start losing fish. Animal Kingdom is cleaning an old tank to set up a peat buffer. Your local legend. How many tanks do you have? Right now, I don't have a lot. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 set up. I've got 3, 6, 10, 12, 12, 14 vats. A couple of tubs. Got more outside than inside. I'm living in a tiny little hovel here. It's just 20 foot by 20 foot. So I'm hoping to be able to move at some point to get a bigger place so that so I can do more. I'm dying to have some big tanks. I got 4 big tanks in storage, and I can't set them up because I have no place for them. So I really want to do that. I want to get arowana, want to get piranha, want to get some oddball stuff that I can show off in planted deep substrate aquariums. By the way, the discus, I got to show you this. Let's do this. What are we at? 90? We're at 90. That's good enough. Let me see if I can get this all disconnected here. Uh-oh. I'm going to pull the plug out now. Oh, dear. Ugh. I did this last week and I pulled the plug. I don't want to do that again. It took me 10 minutes to get it back. Okay, here we go. We're going to look at a bunch of things. Let's start. Oh! Start with the discus. I have 4 Stendekeri discus. They're 4 inchers. They came in as 3. They've been here about not quite a month, and they've grown considerably. I do feed them twice a day. I feed them a very high quality, high protein food. It's imported from Japan. It's listed on my site. I sell it by the cup. It's a very, very high quality food. There's something else in here. I don't know if you can see it. The Hobbyist spawned, and it's loaded with babies. But they're right now almost half an inch long. I saw a bunch of them here in the corner. So there's one right there. I don't know if you can see them. Right there. There's another one in the back. That's a baby Hobbyist. I don't know how many are in here. I think about 20. There's another one down there. There's a female and there's a male. There's a baby right there. Baby Hobbyistos. Now they spawned in here with all these other fish. They were protected because there's a lot of cover. And they were able to get food because there's a lot of cover and a food web. So they're doing really well. I'm really excited about that. So there's that tank. Above it, I'm stepping on the wire. I don't have a lot in here yet. There's some skunk cories and some mollies, wild mollies. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. What is that? Oh, I know what it is. I think it's bluefin killies. They look like babies. No, they're that's not bluefin killie. That's Formosa. Those are little Formosa. I was just talking about that. These are wild mollies, green sailfin mollies, little ones. But they're growing. They get pretty good size. This tank has mollies. This has the checkerboard cichlids in it. I got to get rid of the duckweed. It's blocking out the sunlight. And then the saltwater tank is doing really well. We got a bunch of new stuff this week. There's little hermit crabs and snails. These guys are just nuts. There's shrimp in here. We caught some stuff that there's a pipefish, and there he is right there. Look at that. It's a pipefish. We caught him right here in the bay. Little tiny one. That's cool. Little sucker fish, some other things. So there's that. Oh, and we'll look at the other tank here. Oh, if I can do this without tearing things apart. Yeah, right. The pistogramma. There's a Formosa. Fundulus. That's a pencil fish. I think these Hobbyist. I noticed the male was back there. Looked like he was fooling around with somebody. So we might get them to spawn. There's a little Formosa, little male. That's about as big as they get. There's a goby, little tiny goby. Here's another one right there. There's a third one right there. Whoa! 1, 2, 3. That's 3 little ones. There's a fourth. I've been looking for a fourth. I think I just saw it. Maybe. Can't confirm it. But I think I got 4. You see, we got a lot more plants in here. These are Madagascar lace. I did get some nice ones in, so they're on sale this week. So you can get Madagascar lace. This week, that's a fundulus back there. That's a female. See the sparkles on it? That's a female with black in it. I can't remember what that's called. And that's a male, red alongside. The males are just starting to color up. They get brilliantly colored, but they get a good bit bigger too. They'll get like 3 to 4 inches. There's a larger goby. 1. That's the bigger one. What I've seen is one day there's a little one there. Yeah, a big one and two little ones. That's a small one. You, I don't know what that was. Oh, Pomosa. So, these fundulus. It's a Florida native, also native to the Gulf Coast, but it's a freshwater fish, not brackish. Another little goby, scutting around, pencil fish. I think I may have all female pencil fish. I don't know quite how that's possible, but they sure look like it. They've all got fat bellies. And there's nobody there's a little goby. Right there in front of us. Fundulus, fundulus, fundulus. Okay. Did that. Then we can get the camera hooked back up here. All right. Phoenix said, I don't do Discord. Well, get over yourself. You don't know what you're missing. Do Discord. It's not difficult. It's easy to do. Whatever political opposition you have to it, just put aside. I should say something about that because it's kind of interesting. I decided I don't buy into the issue of refusing to support businesses that hold political positions different than my own. If they're providing a product that I really want, I will buy the product because I really want the product. I'm the one who benefits from buying the product. They don't benefit from selling the product to nearly the extent that I benefit from buying it. So I don't deny myself things that I really want, really need, are going to benefit my life simply because the person selling them is a political scoundrel. Rochelle used to be a Rosa. Oh, come on. Really? Oh, my. So Ro is the Phoenix. I love it. I love it. I love it. That's grand, Ro. Nice to see you. Great to have you here. I have missed you. I miss a bunch of people who we used to have a lot of fun years ago when we all were coming up together. Ro and just a bunch of us. I did talk to Roxanne day or two ago, a couple of days ago. Ordered some fish from her in Peppling Creek. She's doing very, very well. And if you're calling yourself the Phoenix, I assume you are too. I need to get in touch with you. Need to catch up with you, Ro. Nice to have you here. Oh, Erie says, evening news, very fishy characters. Indeed, indeed. Well, good. We're going to talk soon. Give me a call as soon as we get through here. We'll get together. Lee Mayer. Hi, Lee. Nice to see you. Great to have you with us. Need to give you a wrench. You got it. 3G. Hello, 3G. You don't have my number anymore. My number is public information, so I'm going to post it. It's a business number. So, whoa, that was interesting. That ain't right. That's wrong. Somebody's going to be upset. There it is. Got it. Yeah, that 009 is wrong. It's a 9998. Doom Pie, fairly new subscriber from the Netherlands. Absolutely love the information. Thank you so much. Delighted to have you with us, Doompa. Wonderful. Okay, Craig's Catfish Cave. Hey, hey, hey. Good to see you. Craig's Catfish Cave. Get hold of me about getting listed on my for your product line on my homepage. We're getting a lot of hits, so I think it's going to be a really good source of sales for a few very select people, of which 2 or 3 are already here. Annika Dalberg calling the house. And moderator. Joe Sneak. Hello, Joe. Belinda. Happy birthday, Belinda. Cluster is here. Cluster and I have been chatting over on Discord. Fascinating conversation. He wanted me to talk about disease and the problem of pathogens. And what you'll have to read the post. I'm going to get into it probably this coming week because it relates to creating food web. There are 2 things that occur when you create a food web: inoculation and what was the other word I was using earlier? God, my brain's gone. Culture. Creating a culture and creating an inoculation. Culture was not the word though. What was that? I'm going to go look anyway. So you do both in any case. The bacteria inoculate the system against pathogens exploding because it creates controls. That's the natural way of achieving a healthy environment. Serenity Dragons. Nice to have you here. Gonna give you a wrench. Turn you blue, Serenity. Jenny. Mahedron Era. Oh. Shelly Evans. Coral Crafts Lady. Going too fast. No, it rolls through, doesn't it? Assimilation. No, that's not the word. Culture. What is it? It's inoculation and not fertilization. Culture. It's culturing. I have to look it up. You know what? I probably can find it if I look. Let's see. Disease. Prevention of disease. All right, here we go. Here's kind of a key to it. Most tanks are maintained with the intention of preventing any bacterial culture from gaining a foothold. There is no general in the hobby recognition of the role of diversity in nature. I'm constantly met with the query, aren't you afraid of introducing a pathogen? In truth, I'm afraid of not introducing as many pathogens as possible to control their individual species influence. And this is based on the realization that diseases are almost non-existent in high diverse tanks with a massive inoculation of microbes. The dirty little secret is that nature controls its pathogens with a multiplicity of parasites. 50% of all microfauna are parasitic. This means the possibility of an outbreak of a disease in an otherwise healthy tank with a preponderance of microbes is, for all intents and purposes, impossible. When such outbreaks occur, it is when a monoculture is allowed to thrive and overwhelm the system. So that's kind of the key to all that. Here's the other sentence. The solution is very simple. Inoculate the tank with a high diversity of microbiotic life forms. The simplest way to do this is to collect leaf mulch from a healthy body of water and create a resurrection jar. From that jar, it will be possible to begin the inoculation process of introducing the culture to your tank. This not only prevents breakout of pathogenic bacteria, it also provides a source of nutrition for tiny fish, especially baby fish spawned and living in the leaf mulch nursery. So, yeah, that works, Chaos Preeper. Saying I live in an area has few trees near the water, lots of sloughs. What do you think of cattail leaves instead of tree leaves? Any kind of rotting vegetation will work just fine. If you can find rotting grass, right, any rotting vegetation is going to be full of macrofauna, microfauna, and microbiotic life. So that's exactly what you're looking for. Boiling is the best way to remove tannins. Well, not if you want to keep your culture alive, it isn't. I mean, boiling is the single most destructive thing you can do to culture. It kills everything. And it doesn't really get rid of tannins anyway. Besides which, there's nothing wrong with tannins. Tannins are nutrients. 50% of the tannin is a nutrient that microfauna feed on. Not 100%, but half of it is. But you don't have a res jar, but you can make your tank a res tank. It's absolutely right, Adam. And that the only reason for the resurrection jar is to help people get over their squeamishness about putting wild stuff in their tank. Put it in a jar first. Look at it, study it, get used to it, make a friend of it, fall in love with it. Then you'll be happy to put some in your tank. It's like that. Zed says, I have to believe that microbes from our aerobic digestion tanks from our wastewater plant is full of diversity. The res jar I set up last week, Zed works for a water reclamation facility. And their aerobic digestion system is loaded with microfauna. So he's setting up jars, res jars, using that fauna, that aerobic fauna, as a culture to see exactly what's in there, and he's been absolutely stunned with the variety, which makes perfect sense. I mean, you're creating it from nature, so it contains everything that exists anywhere else in the world. And the other thing about this that's so significant is when you realize that microfauna exists, each individual species of microfauna exists all over the globe in environments that are suitable for it. Obviously, it's not going to live in boiling water or in deeply frozen water. Some will, most won't. But in environments that are suitable, you will find the exact same microbiotic critter, the same paramecium, the same amoeba, wherever you go in the world. And they've been around here, if you think about it, for longer than any other life form. So they've really had a chance to get into the air and be blown all over the globe. They don't know what a territory is. They don't know what an invasive species is. And it's the same species of paramecium in one place as another. So it's just really remarkable when you get a hold of that idea, you realize that you can max out the culture and have everything that is available on Earth in that culture. The GARF, Geothermal Research Facility, that was located in Idaho. One of their projects, they were culturing coral using the deep substrate system. They actually bought and had shipped to them bacterial culture from literally all over the world. They found the richest culture was in Australia, in the marshes, the mangrove marshes in Australia. That was included. Everything was included, and of course, it all thrived together. It made a product they called Miracle Mud, which I'm sure is still around. I don't have any of it anymore. I gave it all up when I shut my shop down and didn't manage to keep it. More's the pity. But I'm sure I can get it again. I know some people who have it. All right. That's all right, Erie. Thaw it out. It'll be fine. Yeah, absolutely collect from a river and streams. I was thinking about this earlier. Kind of interesting. The whole issue of sand as a cap for soil is evidenced most obviously and most directly in running water. Not so much in rivers, in fast moving rivers like the Rio, where silt does not have a chance to settle. In slow moving rivers like the Mississippi, it's not, because it's a mud bottom. It's slow riving, so everything precipitates to the bottom. But in creeks, streams, and fast moving rivers, the bottom is always sand, beneath which is soil. That is the natural structure of flowing water. Sand capping soil. And it has to be that way, because otherwise there would be no nutrients at all. They'd be washed away. Now, here's the question. It's not a matter of whether one is better than another. It's a matter of which is the more appropriate for your aquarium. If you are trying to grow a lot of very shallow rooted plants like Cuba or baby tears, some of the other very shallow growing plants, you might want to simply have mud on the surface. It will create an environment where the water will contain an excessive amount of nutrients, but hey, you're going to get those carpeting plants to be able to grow. I have overcome that issue with the food web, because the food web provides the nutrients for those plants in a sand capped system. So you can have the benefit of both the sand cap, which prevents the nutrients from dissolving in the water column and allows precipitants to be removed from the water column, and at the same time have a living culture on that surface of the sand, which can be as much as an inch deep or deeper for that matter. There's really no limit to it. That provides a rich nutrient base with a lot of living matter in it for baby fish, for spawning fish, for all of the choppers, for shrimp, for macrofauna, everything imaginable. What's my opinion of Dr. Tim's bacteria products? they're simply, they only contain half a dozen bacteria of the thousands that exist. They, they're, uh, they're not a rich culture. I mean, you can use them and you will get those culture going, but it's not anything like having a native culture that's broad based with 1,000 different species of bacteria rather than a half a dozen. So I don't see that there's any reason to use a manufactured product when nature provides a vastly superior one at no cost. What's the point of that? I made the case earlier today that I would rather spend my money not on manufactured products, chemicals, and other devices. I'd rather spend my money on fish. I would rather support native people in third world countries doing subsistence collecting of animals that otherwise are going to die at the end of the rainy season, because that's precisely what's collected, rather than support some Chinese manufacturers cranking out crap. I mean, what's the point of that? Why do that when it doesn't make sense to do it anyway? The Phoenix, I'm here to help answer any questions. Lou knows I know my knowledge of the hobby. Indeed, she does. Ro is pretty sharp. We need to get you over on Discord, bro. You're gonna love it there. And we got a place all hollowed out for you. It'll be just perfect. Too big to boil. Don't boil. Don't boil. Don't boil. Boiling does nothing that's beneficial. Nothing. It destroys the natural value of the substrate. It destroys any fauna that's living on it. It is a completely destructive act of homicide. Homicide. It doesn't get rid of bad things, it gets rid of good things. Don't do it. Preston Strobel, Jenny, what if my pH is stabilized? Don't know what that's referring to. Eddie Sauce. Let's see, yes, it's Swazo. Oh, here we go. All right, you're done. You're done. Let's see if Swazo is gone. Fishy Biz. Preston Strobel. I don't want that in my aquarium all the time. I like to try different stuff. Tony Biomama. I'm not following half of this stuff. Darlene Cotbit started at 2055 following you, but do you still clean filter, but no vacuum? Yeah, clean your filter once a year. And don't vacuum anything ever. Never, 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 as in not ever, never. If you don't know what never means, it means not in your lifetime. Good job, Atkins. Hello, Mach 389. The biofilm on the detritus I found in the Blue River was amazing. The microbes I added went to town on it. Wonderful, said. That's amazing. Biofilm is food. It is food. It's food for fish. It's food for macrobiotics. It's food for everything. If you have biofilm, You do not need to put any other film in that tank, any other food in that tank, so long as it's there. But it won't be lasting long because it gets eaten up right away. I just saw something about boiling and I went past it so fast. Here it is. Nothing I put in my tank was boiled. I'm fine with some tannins. Good job, Serenity. Erie first. Father Fish t-shirts. Of the opposite of Nike's Just Do It. They say don't do it. Don't do it. Right. We're going to do something better with the t-shirts. I haven't quite decided yet. I've been talking to Jenny about it. We're trying to figure out how we can market some merch in a way that's going to make it easily available. We're going to be able to put it on the store, and it'll be on the website as well. Things like mugs will be there, and just I hope lots of other stuff. We'll try to get this going, and hey Jenny, that's a good job for our boy. See if you can get him going on that. He might just. I have a young man in Sri Lanka, Naresh. Karuna Karan Naresh. A sweet young man, just a delightful young man, who we're trying to find something for him to do. And that might be just the thing. Because he did some of that before, and he did a really good job with it. So let's try, see if he can get into that. Ooh. Uh-oh. Yeah, Atkins says all the fertilizer people sell in the market is 90% water. Just get the dry ferts and you'll have an almost lifetime supply. But a better idea is to not do ferts. Fertilizer is a block to the natural growth process of the plant. It causes the plant to grow in one direction and one direction only. It does not promote the full development of the plant. You don't want to do that. Provide natural enriched environment that has all of the nutrients that the plant needs. The only reason to do fertilizer is if you have a substrate that does not have adequate nutrients in it, right? So put adequate nutrients in it. Once you do that, you don't need ferts for anything. They're not a solution to a problem. They create more problems than they resolve. Plants. How can I explain this simply? Plants produce hormones. Those hormones cause certain bacteria to generate nutrients, to generate their waste, which becomes a nutrient for the plant. Now, the hormone that is secreted at a given stage in the plant's development. If it's growing roots, it releases one kind of hormone that a certain kind of bacteria links up with and produces the nutrient that the plant needs to grow roots. Similarly with stems, with flowers, with leaves. All of those are different functions requiring different nutrients that are provided by the bacteria in a rich natural environment spurred on by the hormones that the plant is excreting. I mean, it's a communication story. They work together. It's a networking system. When you introduce fertilizer into that, you kill the signaling device. You kill the hormone. You prevent the plant from being able to express its hormones. And so it simply absorbs that one nutrient and it doesn't grow naturally. That's why when you take a plant off of fertilizer, it dies. It can't survive. You've killed the plant. It's a zombie. You've turned it into a zombie. You don't want zombie plants in your aquarium. You want plants that grow naturally, that thrive naturally, that grow in a way that satisfies their inner nature. And I would suggest, Atkins, that fertilizer, liquid fertilizer, is 1 to 2% ferts and the rest water. It's not 10%. It's never that much. So they'll put a handful of sulfide in 1,000-gallon vat of water, mix it all up and bottle it. It costs them more money for the container than the product that's in it, and they sell it for $20. They got maybe 75 cents in it total, including packaging and shipping. I mean, it's a thoroughgoing ripoff. But don't buy the dry stuff either. You don't need it. What you need is live, natural, native culture. It's not hard to find. It's everywhere. Get a little bit and culture it, and you'll have a lot more. How many plant bundles will make a 55-gallon look like a jungle? Probably 4. A 1 for a 20. Yeah, probably 4. 4 plant bundles. That'll give you a lot. I mean, give you an idea. That's 16 bunches in each bundle, in each bag. Each bunch has 4 to 5 plants in it. So that's 4 times 16 is 64, plus a few is like roughly 70. Times 4 is 280. It's 280 individual plants. But you don't take the bundles apart. Plant them together and plant the species together. So if you're getting a bundle, that's 16 different species of plant. Now, here's the thing about that. You got 16 different species of plant. Some of them are not going to make it. Most of them will, but some of them won't, because your tank won't be able to provide the need for everything. It takes the tank a year or 2 to develop the full expression of nutrients to be able to support the life of virtually every kind of plant. There will still be some with special needs that your tank will not be ready for. But the longer the tank is established, the greater the diversity of nutrients, and the better prepared it is to be able to support the plants that you put in it. Start with stem plants. Start with anacris. Start with hornwort. Start with guppy grass. Start with the stem plants. Those are plants that have a much more common nutrient need, that are able to gather up what they need rather quickly and easily. They'll do well initially. And as they break down, as leaves die off and they break down, they will provide more and more nutrients, and you'll find that tank becomes more nutrient rich. So in a year's time, you can grow Butts. Butts of philander, magnificent plant. You'll be able to grow things in there after a year that you can't grow in the first few months. I clean my filter every month, no way it's going to run for a year. Well, it should, unless you're overfeeding dramatically. If your filter is getting clogged up in a month, you're putting way too much nutrient in there. The filter should not be able to do that. It should be breaking down waste and putting it back out into the water column for the plants and animals that are living in it. If you're simply getting it clogged up, you've got a massive amount of nutrients going in there, vastly more than the system needs. And you're frankly, your filter is keeping your tank from crashing and killing everything. The problem is that it'll catch up with you, and you wind up with pathogens taking over and wiping out the entire tank. If you have to clean your filter more than once a year, you are overfeeding substantially. Don't do it. Don't do it. Is there a time of year when collecting leaves is best? Absolutely. And the best time is actually in the spring. It's not in the fall. You might think it's in the fall. That's when the leaves fall off the trees. And you only want leaves that fall off of trees. You don't want to pick leaves off the tree because they contain all of the chlorophyll and all of the nutrients, all the sugars that are in those leaves, and that will foul the tank. Before that leaves falls, all of the nutrients are sucked back into the tree. And the leaf is left a dry, bare bones. It falls to the ground. It gets into water in the fall, just before winter. In this climate, there's not nearly as much biological activity through the winter as there is in the spring. So even later in the spring is preferable when the fauna is fully developed and really working those leaves. That's when the fish and all the macro stuff breed, when there's a maximum of food available for their fry. So that's when you want to collect those leaves in the spring. You can get it all year long. Collect it all year long. Get as much as you can in the spring and spread it out into vats and tubs. It'll keep indefinitely. You'll be able to maintain that culture year round. Good question, though. Really good question. Jason Hamilton, nice to see you here. We'll give you a wrench, Jason. What are we doing time-wise? We're about halfway through. Water which is too pure has no fish. Smiling Buddha Cabaret. Amen, preacher. Amen to that. 1,500 years ago in the Ming Dynasty, when they were developing the koi and probably also the betta, they were aware, they understood that clear, clean water does not support life. Clear, clean water does not support life. Now, this water is clear and clean, but the substrate's not. That's why I use sand to allow the nutrients to precipitate into the sand, and it captures it and holds it there for plants and microfauna to be able to utilize it. It keeps the water crystal clear. This is slightly cloudy because I've been mucking around it a lot lately. But I just added a couple of sponge filters, so it's going to clear up. It'll be crystal clear. Let's see. Severums. Oh, I love severums. Severums are one of the reasons I want to have big tanks. Chocolate cichlids are another one. I love those fish. And they get pretty good size. I mean, they'll get 6-8 inches, like a discus. And those are two wonderful species of fish. I don't think there's a more beautiful fish than the gold severum male. Oh, is he absolutely stunning. And the greens and the shades of browns and greens on the chocolate cichlid are just amazing. It looks like they're covered in moss. Beautiful, beautiful fish. Preston is saying, I haven't changed my sponge in 4 years. I've got a lot of sponges like that. Yeah, dwarf South Americans are good with plants. So are Tanganyikans, all the Tanganyikans, all the credences, all the rams. Most fish are good with plants. There are very few that are not. And I think, frankly, the reason things like Oscars are not good with plants is because they are grown out in bare tanks and they become insane. They develop a caged mentality where they are simply aggressive toward everything. An Oscar grown out as fry in a well-planted tank will not destroy those plants and will develop in a mentally healthy fish. Thorn trap wants to know how often to add dead dry oak leaves for food web upkeep. You want to make sure that you have, and again, you want 3 varieties. You want ash, maple, and oak. The ash will break down very quickly. Maple a little longer, and oak the longest. The directory for all of this will be available in about a month. We're getting real close now, getting it all together. We'll have that piece of that PDF available. It'll be behind a paywall, but it's going to be inexpensive. Anybody will be able to afford it. $5 will get you the whole thing, as long as you want to use it. When they disintegrate, you want to add more. Just keep building it up. What you can do is, over a period of time, build it up so it's deeper. That way it's going to last a whole lot longer. And you'll be able to see as it disintegrates, as it's broken down and becomes nutrients, you'll be able to add more to it. Preston Strobel. Never change your media, just squeeze it with tank water. Right. The media contains bacterial culture that breaks down nutrients. Most especially, it breaks down ammonia and nitrites and creates nitrates, which are nutrition. Nitrates are nutrition. There is no such thing as nitrate poisoning. Nitrate is not a toxin. Just ain't. The other thing about nitrate is that it is impossible to get it over about 400 ppm, because at that point it sucks algae out of the air to consume it. It allows a single spore of algae to grow and expand virtually overnight to begin consuming it. With high nitrates, you're going to have very high plant growth. It's like CO2. It's the same thing as CO2. The more CO2 there is, the more plant growth there is. I'm happy to see that science is finally getting around to putting these assholes in the ground who are claiming that CO2 is toxic to the environment. What an absolute fraud. Absolute fraud. It is a lie born in hell. CO2 is a fundamental requirement of all of our food. Without it, we cannot eat. We cannot grow bones. We die without CO2. And every other living thing on Earth dies without CO2. That asinine notion that CO2 somehow is ruining the environment is, as I said, a lie born in hell by its demons. Can I say it more clearly than that? I rather doubt it. I could name names, but I ain't gonna. Don't need to. All right, we're going to jump down here. Need more trees. Amen to that. There are 25% more trees on Earth today than there were 100 years ago, thanks to CO2. The Earth is also warmer than it would otherwise be because we would be in an ice age and everything would be dead below the 40th parallel or above it. Above it, right? Yeah, you don't, if you've got a deep substrate, you don't need to add CO2. It's that substrate is a CO2 factory. It cranks it out in vast quantities, and it is absorbed by the roots. CO2 is taken up by the roots of plants. Preston Phoenix is a lady. Yes, she is. Indeed. And Preston, I need to give you. Oh, you already got a wrench. You just hadn't. Oh, hadn't shown up yet. There it is. Oh, there it is. Okay. Right. Oh, let's see. Where are we here? Ryan Brew, my tank went cloudy, so I did nothing, but it kept getting worse. I did 50% water change, still went cloudy. Nothing is dead. Everything is happy. Water parameters are good too. Any help? Add sand. Add an inch of sand. Add an inch of sand. It will clear it up. I double guarantee it. Add an inch of sand. You've got substrate that is bleeding through the sand cap. New tank syndrome, not likely. It should not continue. It should clear up. If it's not clearing up, it's getting worse, then you got something bleeding into it. It's a persistent problem and not a situational problem. Not an occasional problem, if you will. Dooby-doo. How are we doing here? Scott Stankovich. Hello. Have you ever kept spanner barbs, also known as T-barb? That's a good question. Yeah, I did. I got rid of them pretty quick. They get big. Where are we? I'm backing up a little bit because I hit bottom. Do we need to buy CO2? No, darling. If you got a deep substrate, it's producing far more CO2 than the tank can handle. In fact, it'll be bubbling up now with water. Do-do-do. Do-do-do. Spike Milligan. What's that referring to here? I'm not getting the reference. Spike Milligan. Oh, wait. Right. I was watching Spike Milligan. Spike Milligan had a clown band and produced essentially clown music back in the 40s. I mean, this goes way back to when I was a little child, before I was born even. A lot of percussion instruments, a lot of homemade instruments. They were dressed in various costumes. Um, Spike Milligan. It was on TV for a while. Spencer sister, thank you, dear. 1 inch stratum, 2 inch sand. Just started a new swordtail thing. Now you can use stratum. I really recommend that you use stratum as the 50% in the 2-1-1 formula. That you add to it compost and some kind of mulch material to give you the organics that the substrate needs to really take hold. I know Alex did a video all about how stratum and the other synthetic sands are all the tank needs. Well, it depends how you do in your tank. I mean, you can do it, you can do anything. I don't do it that way because I have other goals. And a lot of people share my goals. My goals primarily are for people who want to be able to establish a tank that's going to last for a very long time, that's not going to require substantial water changes, and not putting the sand cap on does create an environment that requires water changes. It simply does, because the nutrients are getting into the water column. So it's not a bad thing to do if that's the kind of tank you want. That's fine. It's not what I'm trying to do. If you want to do what I'm trying to do, you're there. I meant hedgehog, Papa. Oh, the hedgehogs. They're doing just fine. I think the female is finally coming into heat. I noticed the male nosing around a little bit the other night. So I'm hopeful. Hopeful. Never cap aqua soil. You should, because it looks so ugly. Not sure I understand the comment, Preston, but all right. Let's see. Spike Milligan's grave reads, I told you I was sick. Have I ever kept how do I know Joachim Mont? Where is this have I ever kept? Oh, axolotls. I have. In fact, I grew some out from eggs and got about 20 of them to adult. That was some years ago. I haven't had them recently. I'm trying to get some. I will be getting a pair at the Clash, Keystone Clash. Roxy and Pepperland Creek are gonna bring me a pair of adults. So real excited about that. So we're gonna get them going. Carlos Fish Room. How can I get a super healthy native tank? What you can do is get on the Fatherfish Shoal. Let's see if I can get the link up here. Get on the shoal and watch a bunch of videos. And you will learn how to do it. All right, here we go. Link Here's the link. Darlene caught this. First time here. So happy I found you and others who have answered me. Welcome, Darlene. You need to work at it a little bit. That's the issue. Would this setup work well with red ear? Little ones it will, big ones it will. Oh, I did not show the turtle tank. Guess I'll have to wait. I don't want to tear this apart again. I forgot to show you the turtle tank. I even didn't count it because the door's open and it blocks it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 plus all the tubs. David Anati. Do I ever ponder selling a few select fish? You should sell a shirt that says, "Hello, come on in, you're a father." Oh, I should. You're absolutely right. With the picture as standing at the door. Absolutely need to do that. In fact, we need to get a talking shirt that will say it. Maybe a talking hat. I don't know. That's a great idea, David. We need to do that. Jenny, make a note. We need to do that. Very cool idea. Serenity says, no idea how many plants in my 75, but I know how much money I spent. Wife still hadn't forgiven me. Well, see, you could have done that through Father Fish, Shopify, for probably half the money you spent and gotten more plants. We do have really good deals. Looking into doing a breeding project with pygmy sunfish. What would be the best environment? Oh, man, a food web, absolutely a food web. Deep substrate with a rich food web. They will spawn in that and produce babies as long as you have them in there. You'll wind up with hundreds of babies in that. You want the food web to be an inch deep. Remember JR, what she did? It's exactly how she did it. She had those and she had scarlet batis breeding together, not together, but in the same tank. Jason Hamilton, biggest problem I face is I have my tank going. I just want to start another because it was so much fun starting the first one. I believe that, well, you're in danger, Jason, of the multi-tank syndrome. MTS has struck you. You can fight it, but you can't beat it. It will take hold of you, so you need to learn how to do it on the cheap. On the cheap. Start looking for used tanks. Buy them no more than $1 a gallon. No more than. Start looking for used equipment like lights and pumps and heaters. Get them on the cheap. Start collecting food web material. Join a fish club. That's the best way to get fish cheap and easy, is join a fish club. If you can't join one, start one. Father Fish, show us your hedgehogs and their enclosures. Oh my. All right. I guess I need to do it. All right. I'm going to do it. Here we go. Got to disconnect my camera and see if I can keep from unplugging it. All right. Here we go. Oh, glory. By the way, that's my new computer. Look at that Haas. That thing is 30 inches. No, it's not that tall. It's 22 inches tall, I think. Almost 2 foot tall. It's an old gamer computer that's fast as a whiz kid and loaded with memory and has a graphics card to die for. I'm going to try to get it hooked up next week. I bought the super duper high speed whiz bang. Um, okay, there. I put a little towel in here today, so of course they're hiding under it. So we're gonna show them. We can move the towel. There's the female. She's sleeping, and the male is in here. He's sleeping. They sleep during the day. There she is. Let's see if we can get down here. So, oops. Try to do this without pulling the plug. There she is. She's gonna go. He's right at the edge. She's not to let her in. All right, so give you the towel back there. That'll make you happy. All right, now we got to do the turtle tank. I haven't cleaned. It's got algae on it. I haven't cleaned it much because it's a little tricky to clean. And they hide when I don't have food. They come out when I feed. You can't really see much. So a lot of algae in it. But this is the top of it, which is kind of cool. I saw him climbing over the rock earlier today. Don't see him now. Anyway, there it is. So a couple of different kinds of moss. And the one I got by the creek is doing real well. That's the shorter one. The other one doesn't look so great. And the plants are doing okay. They look all right. So there it is. I think the pump's not working. I need to get in there and get it going again. All right, let's see if I can do this without pulling the plug. There, you happy? Ooh, we did the hedgehogs. And pretty soon we're going to have axolotls. Axolotls. 53 green neons. Wow. Erie is spawning green neons. I think you're spawning them. I think I remember saying that. That is such a delightful fish. The green neons are hardier than the regular neons or the cardinals. I think they finally are being bred, but most of the ones that come in are wild caught. And they just hold up so well. Ro was saying instead of the pygmies that I sent, my word, that was a long time ago. I don't have any. If they've spawned, I need to get some back from you. I don't have any. I'm trying to get some and I can't get them. Let's see. Courtney's heirs. Courtney are listen to Father Fish and my fish all packed their bags and left out. What? What? Yeah, they've been banging on my door, Courtney. Banging them, they want in. Does he play Fortnite? Frowning Fawn plays Sonic. Ooh, yes, right. Proud to say I'm a 20-something that never played Fortnite. Oh, well. Green neons are $1 cheaper here in Canada than normal neons. Yeah, funny, isn't it? Because they're really a better fish. Yeah, Kevin says they are wonderful fish. Yeah. Everything has gone through the roof, Atkins. Well, Blue King Tetras, the breed, but having a lot more luck breeding shrimp. Well, that's cool. Am I going to get coolers for my axolotls? No. I'm not going to. I have air going in here. It keeps it in the mid 70s. I don't let it get up to 80 ever. I don't think I'm going to have a problem. I will not keep them outside though, because it gets too hot in the summer and too cold in the winter. Scott Zankovich said it started 3 years ago with the 30, my first deep substrate. 3 years later, 10 tanks and almost 400 gallons of tanks, all deep substrates of different kinds. Amazing adventure. Yeah, and between you and your wife, you've got some stunning tanks. Just really stunning. Hedge pigs, says Serenity. Yes, they are. Chick boom, chick boom. Gretchen Ann, show the turtle tank. I did, and ain't nothing to see, is there? But we'll give you a wrench. Turn you blue. Ooh. I don't play video games. I did for a while. I'm not really good PvP. I was playing a game that was an adventure game. It wasn't a PvP. And I got kind of hung up on that because I had some friends who were my age who introduced me to it. Don't even remember what it was called. Got into it and I finally lost interest in it. So it's a huge time consumer. But I did have the addiction for a while, a few months, I think. Father Technology, I ain't. You said that right. I do it, but I don't do it well. I got myself so worked up the other day. I was trying to. I made a video for the last video. I'd done taping for it and needed to send it to my editor. Well, it was 6 meg, so it's a pretty big file, and I couldn't send it the way I normally do. And I struggled for hours, finally figuring out how to send it. Sent it. It took an hour and a half to upload it, and he got it, and he said, "This isn't the right video." I had sent him the wrong one, and I was about in tears. I was so upset with myself that I pushed through it and did it, but it took 3 more hours to upload it. So I have now bought the zippiest speed that my provider provides. So I'm going to be able to do these 6 meg videos in 15 seconds. It's going to go boom, and it'll be there. Courtney Ayers, did I give you a wrench, Courtney? I did. YouTube's been a little slow on the uptake. Don't have a favorite video game. Every once in a while, I think about getting back into it because it is fascinating. But then I realize I really don't have time for it. You know, I'm busy doing so many other things that I really need to be doing and want to be doing. I don't have extra hours every day to spend playing games. As much as I enjoy it, it's not a priority for me. I got other priorities. I don't play video games. All right, going down to the bottom. Marvin Coleman, does that work well for turtles? By and large, it does. Little turtles, not big turtles, little turtles. I'm going to be buying some more little turtles. Atkins, they don't need the anemone. Preferably a clownfish breeder tank is very similar to freshwater breeding cichlids. Bare bottom or loose sand, a cave, and dim light. I don't know about the cave part. Yeah, I guess the cave. I had a breeder friend who had clowns going all the time. And he would keep his bears in little 1 gallon cells. And they would spawn in there. Erie's talking about planting Monte Carlo and pearlweed. I'm getting Monte Carlo in this week, I think. So I'm going to have some ground cover plants in. I will get them on the list right away, so you'll be able to pick them up. But I'll have them, and they'll be a real good price. They're talking about pygmy sunfish. I used to catch them by the hundreds. It's a matter of finding a place where it hadn't been fished out. Rosario Canuto. Send a hug to us Brazilians. You betcha. This boat I just bought. I bought from a Brazilian. We got to talking about Brazil. I told him it's one place in the world I'd like to visit to collect. The best, absolute best aquarium fish in the world are in Brazil. I don't know why TJ Gregory got uh, got shut down, but it should not have been. So whoever did that, I'm going to give him a wrench. He said, newbie starting out, my first planted aquarium, do I need any kind of filter media? You need something to move the water. It's good to have moving water. It's really a big help. Courtney says, you gave me a wrench and I've never been happier. Well, all right. A YouTuber. Oh, I asked because you mentioned the awesome computer. Aha. No, I bought it from a gamer who also happens to be a techie, who also happens to be doing our website and improving our store. Who also happens to be a very good friend. Erie says, Andrew, I intentionally put the modding and pearlweed in the front. I did read that earlier. I don't think I mentioned it. I said something about it. Kenny D is here. Hello, Kenny. Hello, Lou. Hope you're doing well and staying healthy. Best always to you and your family. Wishing you and your family, everyone here, peace, love, and light, blessings, and health to you as well, Kenny D. Festivum, not a really cool fish. Love duckweed. Well, that would help. That's a good idea. I'll get some festivum. Get rid of this duckweed. Right. Talking about a little fish trap made out of a plastic Coke bottle. Salvinia. I would never clean out Salvinia. That's a plant I absolutely adore. Yeah, aerates. Nasty stuff, duckweed. Nasty stuff. But I didn't know festivums like it. I've had festivums. Haven't had any recently. They can be hard to come by. It's one of the earliest fish that was imported and one of the most difficult ones to find. They're just not a popular fish, but they're fascinating. Just a really unusual mid-size, 3 to 4 inches, maybe up to 5. Gina Gamble, Father Fishman, enjoying your channel. Going to give you a wrench right there. Getting ready to start a deep substrate. I have a 35-gallon X. Can I be successful with this? You betcha. It will be perfect. Don't know what to do with my excess floaters, says Slaughter. Put them in a tub outdoors. You can get a really nice, what are they, about a 40-gallon tub from Lowe's or Home Depot or Best Buy for like $10. And they're wonderful. They're solid, firm. They don't buckle. Really good tubs. Get some tubbing going. Gonna get any frogs in? I don't know. The problem with frogs is I don't have a good food source for them. They gotta have live food. And I don't have any culture. I could do it, but I'm not sure I'm ready. I have a real problem with that. Yes, that is my number. Red roof floaters grow like quarter of the time other floaters. They require a lot more light. They do grow slowly. Although I finally got them going pretty good in one of about 10 of the vats that I've got them in. And I don't know particularly why. I think I started with fewer culture and they've created little beds of new growth. Trading it tank tap 87 for 3 days, 80 for 3 days. No, you don't need to bounce it back and forth. 87 for 3 days. Leave it there if there's still white spots showing. They should be gone by 3 days. Might need to leave it to 4 and then drop it to 82 and just leave it at 82 indefinitely. You don't need to go up and down. Don't do that. That'll simply stress the fish. It can't live at higher temperatures. That's right. Yeah, 4 days. Can you keep more than one turtle together? Yeah, absolutely. You can keep if they're little, they're not going to bother each other. Now, the snapper might bite something, but they'll get away. And they can eat it. Just don't mix the sizes too much. Yeah, the crowd over on the Discord channel, the Father Fish server, is just absolutely wonderful. We've been training and teaching and working and struggling to get that site built so it's something worthwhile and engaging. And I really think we're there. We got hundreds of people on it with probably 50 different channels. And there are posts in every channel every day. It's just amazing. And you can even have your own channel. if you got a tank you want to feature and photograph every day or put little short vids up every day, you can do that and share it with everyone who's there. Aching puddle. Have you ever kept multiple male pettits together? I have, but they were they grew up together. They were in the same spawn. It worked all right for a while. Once they reach a certain point, though, where they start breeding, then all bets are off. You really can't do it long term. You can do females, and you can do females with one male. That works fine. You get spawning that way too. Buenos Aires and long skirt tetras eat duckweed, says Scott. Good to know. Oh. Joe West just had it go away using heat treatment for 4 days. Yeah, garlic's not critical. Its only value is to prevent bacteria from growing where there is injury to the fish from the ick parasite. But they usually heals up pretty quick. Big Ed's Gaming set up a fatherfish tank 3 weeks ago. Notice that the one side with the deep sand is turning a dark color. Is that normal? Yeah, it's probably because there's light there, but it could be that the dirt is rising an inch from the top. If it gets much closer, then cap more sand. The dirt does rise in the sand. Usually it'll only go up about an inch, which is another reason for having 2 inches to keep it from getting into the water column. Will water lettuce outcompete duckweed? No. Water lettuce in a pond, in a tank rather, is much more light intensive than duckweed. Fish keeping hobby has been expensive when it doesn't have to be. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Your favorite ugly duckling fish? Congos. I think a Congo is a beautiful fish. When they age, they get, that, okay, right, ugly duckling. Got it. Yeah, that makes sense. A lot of fish are like that. And some are just the opposite. Some are really pretty when they're little and not so pretty when they're big. Clown loaches, for example, lose all their color when they get big. Of course, big is like a foot long. Cluster, bless you. Take care. Good to meet you. Nice to talk with you today. Yeah, I don't have any Congos, and I really, really like them. Joe West, 4 weeks. Ammonia been at 0.25 for 2 weeks. It probably is not toxic ammonia. Just get fish in there and get plants in there, and it'll go away. Oh, I am actually. Oh, I'm yawning. 7:30, half an hour. Yeah, it feels like it's dragging. I'm just not as motivated, I guess. 6 speed. What's my biggest tank? Biggest one set up is this 33 in back of me. Biggest I've ever had is a 500. Biggest I have in storage about a 75. Yeah, go for it. Add fish. James Burris. Hello, James. Nice to see you. Getting you a wrench. Oh, wow. Oh, my word. Shaq says my resurrection jar has fries, tadpoles, shrimp, and mayflies. Wow. Pretty impressive. Oh, Joe said he's got a lot of fish yet. Huh. Well, there may not be nitrates because your plants are absorbing them. Funny that the fact that the ammonia is not being absorbed. That's a little odd. Ew. But obviously, it's not toxic ammonia, so I wouldn't worry about it. Got the water from a mangoed pond. Bravo, Shaq. Been watching your channel for 5 months. Don't think I've heard you talk about having house plants, such as pothos on the top tank. What are your thoughts? I just haven't gotten into it. I did at the shop. I had pothos that was absolutely covering an entire bank of tanks. And in fact, it was threatening to take over the shop. It was, it was sending runners like 10 feet out into the wild. It was just amazing. Yeah, you can say you feed your fish tuna. That's okay. You can feed them tuna. Except it's cooked. They would like it fresh better. Cam's Aquatics. It's true that plants like pothos will only take nutrients from the gravel and not the water column. Not true at all. Not true at all. They take nutrients right out of the water. Absolutely do. 8 foot 310. Nice, MC. Nice. Yeah, it's a great plant. It just really is a great plant. Will your website be also selling microfauna in Canada like Philip Fish does? Yeah, in fact, we already have a Canadian distributor, and if he's not handling microfauna, I need to get on his butt to do it. But I think he is. But his link will be on there once we get it up. It'll be up this week, I think. SGC, hello, hello. Nice to see you. Yes, pathos is Mother Nature's cheat code for big violence. Absolutely. Should I remove the tadpoles from my resurrection jar? They will eat everything in it. They're as bad as crabs. I mean, they'll eat everything. They'll eat the fish. They'll eat everything. Yeah, I would take them out unless you really want to watch them turn into frogs. James A. Thinking of setting up an African dwarf frog tank. Great idea. Good habitat. Black worms and scuds. Yeah, absolutely. You want to get black worm culture going, scud culture going. They probably would also eat Daphne. You need floating plants so they can get up there. They lay their eggs on the surface. So if you get Rickia, that's a good one. They'll be able to lay their eggs in that. Duckweed will work too, though. And then you need a food web in the bottom, as deep as you can make it. That way the babies, when they hatch, they'll drop down and they'll be able to hide and feed in that uh, food web. Oh, have a fond liking for scuds. They are cute, aren't they? I don't think I've gotten any. I've been trying to find scuds. I got to get culture from a new place. I've been getting it all from one place, and I'm not finding. I think the water is too soft. I need to get harder water somewhere. Probably pond water. Excuse me. Well, how we doing here? I may as well tough it out. 15 more minutes. James A., I think I gave you a wrench, didn't I? I did. YouTube's being slow, typically. Amphipods. The scud. Oh, cool. Found an accidental turn in the garden today. A buried plant pot full of life. Wonder. Left my bonsai outside for a week. Birds seeded the plant baby sprouts, growing out the soil. Huh. Resurrection water turned crystal clear after a couple hours in the jar. When I first put it in, you could barely see through it. Yeah, they do clear up. I put some here. Super clear water. I mean, just crystal clear water. I see a snail. That's a good sign. It's a pond snail. I see two of them. We're getting something going in there, I guess. I need to put a light on it. Where's my flashlight? See if I can do this. Yeah. All right. Snails. That's a snail. More snails. Snails are good because they break stuff down. For the microfauna to eat. Only one I'm looking at. Not much. Not seeing much. Where's he on? Yeah, I think I need to start collecting from a different place. I'm just not getting the variety I'd like to have. Lots of ram's horns. I need 20 years of beauty sleep. Yeah, right. To get that. Chain loach and 2 clown loaches. Yeah, that's good. Phoenix is taking off this shit. Gotta run. Call you after the stream. Look forward to it. Otter snails. That's what I got. Otters, ponds, whatever they are. Well, nice to have you with us, Ro. Ooh. Did you see the video of the checkerboards? Yes, I did. Purge. They're magnificent. I was just so impressed. I bought 5, which was dumb because I got 3 males and 2 females. But I'm excited about them. They're getting real close. They should be maturing pretty quickly, and I hope to be seeing some snails have a lot of disease, as someone said. You need to stop listening to the someones who are full of bad news. Any bad news person, here's a clue. Anybody who's got nothing good to say knows nothing good. If they have nothing good to say, it's because they don't know anything that's good. So don't listen to them. The bad news bears they just let them talk to themselves until they talk themselves out. I mean, I get them all the time. Come in, aren't you afraid of this? That's terrible. Oh, you can't do that. All this garbage, Lord. Just all the naysayers. They got nothing better to do than try to put everybody else down because they're too ignorant to figure things out for themselves. So they figure everybody is dumber than they are. Now there's a tough one. Try to do that. Try to get down below the real dumbbell. They're convinced you are. It's what makes them so dumb. Don't pay attention to dumbbells. They'll make you crazy. At the river, says Zed, I collect from there is a lot of black willow trees and sycamores. Sycamore leaves are everywhere, but would be too big. You can willow leaves are smaller. Yeah, you can chop them up too. Just shred them or chop them up. Just use a butcher knife and chop them up. Can I keep discus if my water pH is 8.0? Depends on where you get them from, KYN. The ones I have here are in 8.0 water. They're Stendekeri, which are raised in hard alkaline water. Block the dummy, says Kevin. The teacher said, listen, stupid. He always called me listen. Right. Loads of darters hide under the sycamore leaves. Oh, that's cool. That's very cool. Darters are an absolutely wonderful tank fish. Just wonderful. Tear the leaf to the size you need. Right on. 3J my discus are in 8.0. Yeah, people who don't know anything are fond of expressing their opinion on everything. Keep that in mind. But their opinion will always be in the negative. Always. If the opinion is in the negative, it needs to be disregarded because it is of no value. Anybody who's just out to shoot other people down really doesn't have anything to say that's worth listening to. Keep it in mind. Both from a self-control point of view as well as from a listening point of view. There's one more item that goes with this, and that is do not be a sheep. Do not follow along and do exactly what other people tell you to do. Because all you're really doing is setting yourself up or setting them up to blame them when you fail. It's simply a way of getting failure off your back and putting them on someone else, saying, oh, it was your fault because I listened to you. I listened to you and you were wrong. Look what it made me do. It's terrible. They're never going to listen to you, and they will. They'll do it again. They'll do it over and over because they refuse to accept personal responsibility because they're lazy. They don't want to figure anything out. So they're, oh, is that right? I need to do that. No, you don't need to do that. You need to figure out what to do for yourself and why. Especially why. Because it's the why that matters. Sheeple, right. Politics times his lawsuits. You know, it ain't politics. It really ain't. I mean, clearly, our two-party political system has taken sides in this human discussion, which is grossly unfortunate. But it's based on a pathology that needs to be understood, and it's the Marxist pathology. So you want to talk politics? I'll talk politics with you. But I'll talk with you about politics in terms that make it important to understand what we're really facing, what we're really up against. Because it is more than simply people getting along with other people. It has to do with the nature of reality and the structure of the universe. It's that big and that substantial. I ain't gonna say any more about that right now. Maybe I'll do a video on it. Probably do a sermon on it. Is it okay to be corrected ever? Yeah, I get corrected all the time. The kind of correction that I appreciate is someone saying, I tried this and I didn't get the result you got. I'm very interested in that. Because if they didn't get the result I got, I want to know why. Because it's either they didn't do it the way I do it, or I'm doing something that isn't working right. In either case, I want to know what it is. So, yeah, you can tell me, I tried what you told me and it failed. And then I will say, did you try what I told you because you understood it? Because if you didn't understand it, then you really can't do it. You have to internalize it first and understand why you're doing what you're doing. If you can get that, then we can have a conversation. Other than that, it's simply, I can't talk to you because you don't know what you're talking about. You got to know what you're talking about in order to have a conversation. And if all you're doing is following somebody else, then you don't know what you're doing. You're doing what somebody tells you to do. That's not fair and it's not right. And ultimately, it's a very unhealthy thing to do. So there's that. Is it okay to be corrected? I can accept constructive criticism. Well, it needs to be based not in criticism, but in this doesn't work for me. Oh, why doesn't it work for you? And then they tell you why it doesn't work for you. And then you can have a conversation. Then you're talking about something. Then you're sharing ideas. It's not saying, you're a jerk because I did that and it didn't work. That's not criticism. That's simply throwing stones. That's that's what imbeciles say. It's what stupid people say. Intelligent people say, I I did this for this reason, and it's what I think you're doing. Well, it didn't work out right. Oh, okay. Let's talk about that. See what I'm saying? It's got to be two equals talking, sharing, communicating, not somebody saying, you're a jerk, because they're the jerk. They are every time, 100% of the time. I finally reached the point where when I get that kind of response, I just kick them off my channel. I don't even want to deal with them because they are jerks. And they're not going to get any better. They're not going to learn. They're not going to come around. They're not open to conversation. They're just being jerks. So go be a jerk somewhere else. I don't want to deal with it. Never tried meth, but I know it's not good. Amen to that. All right. Love being the dumbest person in the hobby. It's a great place to learn, lifelong student here. You go, Zed. Good morning from Thailand, from Fantasy Aquatics. Tom from Oz. Can't teach people that never listen. That's the key right there, Tom. That's it. How old's a pleco back here? That's one of Roz's plecos. That's from Peplin Creek. I think it's about 5 years old. So many ways in this hobby. Serenity Dragons. Please don't stop doing lives. You're a dear. Let's see if I can get down to you. Here's a poster. This is one long. Where is it? Huh. Hadn't come up yet. That's interesting. Only thing I'm really subjective in this hobby is my aquascapes and style. Otherwise, I'm open-minded to criticism and changing. Yeah, and so much of aquascaping is just really, it's really personal. I studied aesthetics in graduate school. Haha. Not many of you have done that. Studied aesthetics in graduate school and learned the principles of aesthetics. And they are objective realities. There are objective standards for aesthetics that are universal. They're true. So I understand that. I also understand what it means to say, I don't know why I like it, I just do. And somebody else saying, I think it's terrible. So I understand that as well. Reminds me of bonsai or other Japanese art forms. Yeah, agree. Does a sponge filter work in a pond setup? The coarse sponge does. The fine sponge just gets clogged up too quickly. There's Serenity Dragons just popped up. And I can't. It's not coming up. That's funny. 8 o'clock. What's your time stamp? I thought I had it turned on. $8:01. 8:00. It hadn't come up yet. Huh. Love the fish room bubbling background sounds. I know. I know. Ah. Planting change like substrate from pumice rocks and pea gravel to deep substrate. Curious if I should keep pumice rocks as deepest layer and just put dirt and sand on top. There's no advantage to doing that. You can do it, but it's as I said, there's no. It's funny. My StreamYard has stopped posting at 8 o'clock. We're 5 minutes in, and it's not posting. It stopped at 8. Nothing else after that. That's weird. So, Serenity, I wanted to be able to post your super chat, but it's not letting me. All right, we're done. 2 hours is long enough. I'm worn out. It's been fun. I think I got one good video out of this. I don't even remember what it was about. Somewhere back there. I'll have to have somebody find it. Love you all. Check out the new video. It is going ballistics. It's at 25,000 day 2. I think we got a winner there. Looks like it's going to take off. We'll see where it is in 4 days. So God bless you all. Love you all. Bye for now.